you and I both know that there is so much passion around this Warriors fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Always, and there always has been. But I think today, for at least a portion of that base, there needs to be a reality check.
Okay.
Because this team, no matter what the hell it was going to do in free agency over the summer, they were not going to get that much better. And the reason why, and we can get into this all day, and I can't wait to hear everybody
till 6 o'clock
who calls in.
Yeah, call in and yell at Nick. Come on, let's get it going.
Hits us on the text line. I can't wait. Watch it on YouTube. I mean, since the last time I was in here, we've got the direct access all over the place. This team was never going to be good enough and rebuilt over the summer because Jimmy Butler got hurt. And it happens in pro sports. And it's the worst part of the game. And nobody could control what happened. But when Jimmy Butler, who's making $60 million a year, gets hurt and he can't play, and Steph, who's 38 years old with a bad knee, is making $60 million a year with the cap rules that are in place, you can't do that much. So everybody just losing their mind saying, oh my gosh, the Warriors again. You want to be mad about Wiseman? Fine. You want to be mad about Kuminga? I get it. They screwed up. They did not make the right picks. But to sit there and go, oh my gosh, they're losing all these guys. And Anthony Simons, oh no, he went to Philly. Oh, what are they doing? Oh no. Let's get a reality check for 4 hours today, Grandy, man.
Okay.
Because I just cannot believe what I'm hearing from some people that love this team. They've gone overboard. When Jimmy got hurt, that was it. You're not winning too much after that. You can still put together a solid team, and you can put together a team that can find ways to be entertaining around Steph Curry when he's out there. But let's all take a deep breath and go through the reasons why this is where it is. And the biggest reason why is because Jimmy, unfortunately, got hurt on a max deal, and in the league, that's about the worst thing that can happen.
And he's old.
And he's old.
And he has a history of not being the happiest when things come to an end in certain places.
And that's all well and good, too, but at the core of this, Jimmy hurt his ACL, and that has toppled over whatever the ending was going to look like.
Well, I saw your tweet. And that was in response to Warriors fans' response to Anthony Simons signing with the 76ers.
And they're getting pissed at me now.
Oh, I saw it.
I'm like, are you
You're the hottest thing on Twitter right now. I've seen it.
Well, yeah, yesterday I get aggregated terribly by somemeless.
Yeah,
that's
from
like,
this show, unfortunately.
From us talking, and I'm going, huh? Well, I looked at my phone, I was like, what? Because literally,
they put a community note on it for you.
Exactly.
I saw that.
It was like, but it was like, all right, where do you think he's going? I said, I think it's 50-50. And for pure clarification on all of it, that was before the Philly stuff even happened. Then the Philly stuff happens, but that's fine. The whole point to all of this is I think people get so caught up, especially in the summers, and they see this team making moves and that team making moves. And well, why weren't we in on Jaylen Brown? Because Jaylen Brown is making $60 million a year for the next 3 years, and there is question, at least in some circles of the league, as to whether or not he is going to live up to that type of cap hit in space. He's a great player. He had a great year, but people just losing it thinking, oh my gosh, why didn't they do this and that and this? Jimmy Butler got hurt, and it altered the course of everything over the next couple years for the Golden State Warriors.
I'll just say the reaction from fans, I don't think it's about Anthony Simons specifically. It's about just the idea of the rest of your offseason plans, even if it's not much of an offseason plan because of the reality you're talking about, is being held up by the LeBron decision. And if LeBron comes here, if LeBron doesn't come here, that has to happen first, and then you can go about your business elsewhere. They have an ability to sign someone like an Anthony Simons, or the other one was Collin Sexton, who went with the Lakers yesterday morning, right? And I know those aren't players that are going to change the course of this franchise. They're not going to make them from a play-in team to, a championship contender team. But I would imagine the frustration from Warrior fans, because I felt a little bit of it myself too, is coming from the idea that, well, you might not even get LeBron and it's still going to cost you whatever else you might have been able to do this offseason.
And I understand, but Grandy, man, Anthony Simons and Collin Sexton.
Oh, I know. It's not like those are
not. Okay, let's all take
last season was so bad, Nick.
And
they're running it. They're running it back. Oh, you know it better than anyone.
Who are you telling?
Oh my God.
I mean,
those road
trips.
You
and I have talked about this a lot. I am very lucky, and I am so happy to be back here. And I know how good I have it day to day because nobody wants to sit there and go, oh, you get paid to watch the Warriors.
The number of times I see you in the media elevator, you're like, Grandy, oh my God.
It's just like every day you're just thinking, oh, I love the back and forth nature of this job. And there is not a single day, I promise you, especially after the last few years that I've experienced, that I don't remember how lucky I am to be within it. The point is, when you're watching the same games with no Steph and no Jimmy, it looks a little bit different, which is why I say all this, and I'm going off on a rant early here, but I understand fans' frustrations. I mean, they pay their hard-earned money. They spend their hard-earned time. They could be doing anything. They're following this team. If you're still upset about them whiffing on Wiseman and Kuminga not becoming the player that they wanted, I get that. Mark Grandy, what I do not understand is when people go, oh, well, are we really going to wait for LeBron? What if he goes to Cleveland? What if he goes to Cleveland? What if he goes to Philly? What if he goes anywhere that is not San Francisco? Okay, life goes on because this team is not close to where everybody wants them to be, where they were for so many years. They're not close. LeBron can, in the span of the next 4 hours of our show, can come in, hey, I'm signing with the Warriors, and that's fantastic, great. But he's not, at 41 years old, going to be the difference maker that takes them from wherever they are right now back up to the front of the Western Conference. So I just want everybody to have some space in between. You can be all upset because they've made all these moves, or, oh, we got to wait for Giannis, or, oh, we got to wait for this guy or that guy. Fine. Have at it. Like, they deserve all the criticism for all this stuff. In the here and now, though, if you have a chance to sign LeBron James, even at 41, you wait to see if you can do that. And if you can't, then you move forward. But you do not lose any sleep over, oh, you know what? We missed out on Anthony Simons and Collin Sexton. Because those guys, while solid players, are not the difference maker on whatever team you're putting together.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And I don't think...
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think there's like any Warrior fans out there, at least I don't think there are, maybe there are, but not that many, that are saying you shouldn't be going after LeBron. Like, it makes total sense. Why would you not do it? He's a free agent. He's theoretically going to sign for not a gigantic amount of money, which is the only way you'd be able to get him here in the first place. And a lot of these places would only be able to get him for, the mid-level or less. There's a rumor out there that maybe he'd signed for the minimum. Who the hell knows? I find that very hard to believe, but we'll find out whenever he goes. But it makes perfect sense. The frustration for Warrior fans is you're at the whim of LeBron's decision. And if he decides to say, no, I'm going to Cleveland, I'm going to Miami, I'm going to Philly, wherever he's going to go, you're stuck with essentially the same roster last year that, as you talked about, was a really difficult watch. And the only difference is essentially Yaxo Lendeborg in for Jonathan Kuminga. Like, that's the only real difference.
You're giving me PTSD already, Grandy, and
that was so bad. And you could say there's nothing the organization could do, and maybe realistically you're right, but we know how bad that was for Joe Lacob the second half of last year. Yeah. And it feels like they're just, damned if they do, damned if they don't, I guess, but they're just going to be going into next season potentially with the same exact roster.
And this would be my question for you, and you follow this as closely as anybody does, doing what you do day to day. And for any fan who wants to call us up and tell me.
888-957-9570.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you are trying to break down what you wanted them to do heading into the summer, let's hear it. Let's hear what the moves are.
What they should have done.
What they should have done.
Yeah.
Because as I'm looking at all the different things, like, I was a little surprised on Melton just because he really kind of hit a wall in those last few months. He wasn't the same player as when he had come back, but fine.
I thought it was pretty good value, honestly.
Exactly. Like Steve Kerr really likes him. He was
coming back.
There's confidence within. He's well liked. Great. Okay. Not a bad deal. Horford for 2 years. Oh my gosh. Like, oh man. Horford, if he can stay out there, fine. But why would anybody have confidence in that, given what just happened last year? And for 2 years, that was like, what? 2 years?
That news surprised me twice. First, that he opted out of the 1 year, and then second, that he got 2 years.
2 years. That feels like one of those wink, wink. Hey, if you come out to the Bay, we got you for 3, and we'll figure it out. Okay, put that aside. Porzingis, fine, roll the dice, but that contract, as we've now learned, is not as punitive as it could be.
They can trade him this second.
And you can move him.
They can theoretically just waive him and only cost him $3 million.
Exactly. So, okay, fine. What else have I missed that you watch the Warriors and you go, oh my gosh, they have screwed this up terribly. Steph is 38 and on a max deal. Jimmy is 36 with a busted knee on a max deal. There is your problem. Draymond, who knows what's going to end up happening, but he no longer is living up to the salary in which he is, in which he has earned through that contract. That's another problem. But this summer, because of what we've seen around the league, tell me, call us. Tell me what you wanted them to do and how they've screwed it up so badly. If you want to talk about what happened 5 or 6 years ago, great. I understand that. I'm talking about right now. What are we not seeing? What am I missing that the fan base has been so pissed off about that they can't come to grips with whatever the reality is right now?
I think some of it is what you're talking about, maybe a misunderstanding of what it would take to get a deal done or the value of the pieces that you'd be trading away. Like what Steiny and Evan were talking about earlier, and I think it's really interesting, all the biggest moves in the free agency period, it's less free agency and it's more just trades. Giannis and Kawhi and Jaylen Brown and even LaMelo and all these other ones, you have to have draft picks that you're willing to move off of, and the Warriors have shown an extreme hesitance to do that. For good reason, I think, for the most part, but also that's a source of fans' frustration. And the other part is you have to have the salary to make it work, but also that the other teams at least don't terribly dislike in the first place. And the Warriors might not have any of that.
And they don't, because Jimmy, who has a huge salary, isn't going to be able to play for at least half of next year
who the hell
because of a knee
knows
injury.
how long.
Right, and we don't know what's going to happen, but Mr. Grandy, it's just, I'm watching this from a distance over the last couple of years, and now I'm back in it day to day. And it's not that nobody deserves criticism, because, my gosh, for them to get to this point, and Steph's about to be out, a few more years maybe, I get why people are all upset and why it's built over time. What I do not understand is specific to this summer. As I watch the feedback, not just on social media, but I listen to the station all the time, and people are calling in and saying, oh my gosh, they should have gotten Jaylen Brown. Really? I really, if you plug Jaylen, if let's play it out. The Celtics, they could have said, all right, we'll take Jimmy's contract because the contract would have matched.
Yep.
And Mike Dunleavy has said repeatedly, and we will stress this all day long, one of the most valuable commodities in the league right now are first-round picks. They do not want to move off first-round picks because it's cost certainty, and if you hit, you're in really good shape. Look at the San Antonio Spurs.
Yep.
But if you played it out and Jaylen Brown was going to come to the Warriors and Brad Stevens of the Celtics said, okay, we'll take Jimmy and 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks and a pick swap or whatever it took. That's making the Warriors that much better?